T20 Test on one day. India, England, Australia. The bowler, plucky, big three-side slayer. What a player! What a player! What a player! Discussing zinger bells and white balls to hells. Baggy greens for long from New South Wales. Is the RPL heaven or hell? Will the 100 fail or do quite well? What a player! What a player! What a player!
All right, so shifting our focus a bit on the third test match versus England and India. So we know the score is currently 1-0 in favor of India. It was a great test match, second test match in Lords. The final day was like a great day for India. We saw the win. Now moving on to Leeds, there are a lot of questions. So we know that India won the last match, but there are still questions to be answered. There was a lot of controversial decisions or things which happened last match, but suddenly it has all gone off. So we'll start with one such controversial decision or a question which was ringing in our ears for last two test matches. Ravichandran Ashwin, right? So we all expected him to play first two test matches. He didn't. We had this four fast bowler format. Now getting into the third test match in Leeds, I also saw your tweet which said Ravindra Jadeja might be replaced with Ashwin. So what do you think India should go ahead with? Should we play Ashwin, or do you think Ashwin will come good in the third test match, replacing Jadeja?
I doubt that. Mainly India went with these four paces mainly due to the workload. If you look at the WTC final, they played with three quicks, and maybe team management might have realized that they need one more fast bowler. Mainly because they can rotate really well, and Jadeja can be a handy customer who dry up the runs. So that might be the plan, because with three fast bowlers bowling around 25 overs, it will 25 or to 30 or 35 overs. It will be they need to they might be looking at the workload as well. If you look at India has 5 test matches here, then IPL is there, then T20 World Cup. So Shami, Siraj, Bumrah will be there for everything. Ishant won't be in the T20 World Cup, but Shami and Siraj will be there at least in reserves or in 50-member squad. So they might be looking that workload factor. If someone like Bumrah come and bowls at least 40 plus overs in a test match, it will be cruel for him. So that might be one reason why they have been tempted to play four fast bowlers. Four fast bowlers gives that cushion as well for Virat Kohli to give some rest in between and attack as well England batters. So that might be the reason why four pacers has been playing, and one of them has been playing ahead of this Ashwin. And another thing is that I don't think it's Jadeja versus Ashwin. Mainly, if you look at, if Ashwin plays ahead of Jadeja, Indian lower order will be again becoming more thin. Right now it's thin, even though Shami or Siraj or Bumrah has done well. We can't expect them to do every time. They might come good at least 1 or 2 games. So we can't expect them to score in all matches or all innings in a test match. So in a test series. So it won't be Ashwin versus Jadeja, because Jadeja is more a batting all-rounder in overseas conditions. He's not a bowling all-rounder like he is doing in Asian conditions. But in overseas, in Australia or England or South Africa, everywhere, he is more a batting all-rounder. So I believe fourth pacer versus Ashwin. So and next match we might see it will be Thakur versus Ishant versus Ashwin for the third test match. And Leeds hasn't been spin friendly conditions as well. If you look at England history, I think Leeds has been really moving away from spin department. Yeah, if you look at the summer as well, it is not that dry summer. First two test matches there was overcast conditions, rain was there, so it all depends on the factor. And we have almost 5 or 6 days left for the test match, so I don't think it's again with Ashwin versus Jadeja factor.
Shifting the focus from India to England. So England have made they made a couple of changes. They have dropped Sibley as well as Crawley, right, and they've gotten Malan now. So do you think it was kind of a panic situation? They pressed the panic button too soon after their loss, or was it right?
Sibley or Crowley wasn't in good shape in this summer. If you look at Crowley's performance after that double turn versus Pakistan in last summer, he has been going through a tough phase. Both of them, as you said, the panic button was on. They lost the series against New Zealand, and right now they are 1-0 down, and they need to make some changes. So David Malan had a good county season this year, and they might be looking Hamid as an opener as well. Even though he didn't had a great match in the second test, still you can trust him. If you look at his performance in last 1 year, he has been doing so well in different formats. They might be considering Hamid as an opener, along with Rory Burns and Malan at number three. And Malan's performance has been really good. Even though he is number one in T20 format, I believe his best format will be Test matches or ODIs. Compared to T20s, he has lots of limitations as a player. So they might be trying that, and panic button was on. If you look at England's performance in last two Test matches, they are without bench chokes, and that has been giving them tough times in middle order as well. So they need that cushion. Right now, it's all depend on Joe Root. If you look at his runs through the year, England will be 20 for 2 or 35 2 or 50 for 2 something within 1 hour or 2 hours, and Joe Root will be batting there. So they need to have that trust, and it's tough for a player. Even you are one of the greats in the modern day generation. You need to have that top order, and so that might be the reason trying different players. They are looking forward to the Ashes. We all know how important that is for England as well. So that might be the another reason. I think this will be it's a mixture of panic button and current form.
So looking at England side, just assessing them. So barring four players, I would say Root and Anderson has been brilliant, and for an extent Robinson and Bairstow with the bat are probably the only four players who have put up a fight against us. And this is the first time we would also say that a touring India side looks very much in control to win the whole series, right? Do you think is it because of India has been such a strong side, or it also has to contribute with England not having that same strength which they used to have in the previous tours or previous years?
I think mainly due to the experience factor. If you look at the 2018 tour, even though India lost 4-1, but India was in the game for almost every situation, other than that Lord's Test match where rain affected India, got some terrible conditions to bat on. Other than that, if you look at every match, India was in the game. Even in the first Test match, India lost around 30 or 35 runs something. So it was a matter of one section, and India got that one section in this series. If you look at the fifth day on the morning section, India got that section. If India was all out for a lead around 180 to 200, the things would have been different, and England would have been on the upper hand. So India got that important sections in this series compared to 2018. 2018 was England winning that important section. Either James Anderson running through India or Sam Curran getting that important runs here and there. So England used to win that important sections in 2018, and that helped them to win the series. But in 2021 series, India used to win that important sections. If you look at in the first Test match or second Test match, whenever the game is on that 50-50 path or 45-55 path, India used to win that section. So that is where India has punched above England in the series.
And one more thing which I feel is like our pace department, which is done pretty well. We have picked all our pacers have picked 39 of the 40 wickets to fall in this series, and the one wicket being a run out. So all the wickets which has fallen to the bowlers have been from the Indian department, from the England batsmen, have been taken by the pacers. So how impressive has been our paces? Is this the best pace attack you feel that India has ever fielded?
Yes, it should be the greatest pace attack for Indian cricket in Test history. Mainly, if you look at from 2018, there has been a change in every team. Not only in India, every team has that pace attack. If you look at West Indies, they have Holder is there, Kimar Roach is there, then Joseph is there, Jaden Seals right now. Then for Australia, there is Pat Cummins, Josh Hazlewood, Giles Richardson, James Pattinson, Mitchell Stark is there for New Zealand. We all know what happened in WTC final. So every team has that pace attack since 2018. It has been almost a dream together. Like Test cricket has been going through such a dream phase as well. Most of the matches has been getting close. So two teams has been batting has been a bit shaky for most of the teams, but still bowling has been taking that control. And similar thing happened to India as well. If you look at it's a construction like NCA, India A system, and senior level. If you look at the number of games Siraj played for the India A, he is getting lots of experience through that system. He has played against Labuschagne for the India A versus Australia A match, and that has helped him to perform really well in the last two. So the system should be appreciated more, and the who has worked really well, like Bharat Tarun has worked so well for India for this bowling department, and India has a great pace attack. If you look at the first pace attack, will be Bumrah, Shami, Ishant, then Siraj is there, then Thakur is there, then there is who else? Then Umesh Yadav is there. Then Prasid Krishna coming, then Avesh Khan is there, Sandeep Warrior is there, then Karthik Tyagi coming very soon. Will be getting very soon. Especially he had some injury issues. If you look at the Australia tour, he was with the team and he has impressed a lot the players in the staff, etc. So he will be there in the system once he played that Ranji level more or India A system more. So the pace attack has been going well, and in the future we will be seeing more because these are trailblazers like Shami, Ishant, etc. And we will be seeing more in this system very soon. And just they need to win few series. They have one in Australia. They need to if they need to have that legacy factor. If they can win in England and in South Africa, so we can say this is one of the greatest pace attack in the history of Test cricket as well.
So one of the biggest hot topic we always have or find a reason to talk is Virat Kohli, right? So we all know that even if he scores 40s and 50s, we are not satisfied with that. We always want that 100 from him. Now that is one expectation getting into the series as well. So do you foresee Virat Kohli scoring his 71st 100 maybe in the next match or within this series?
If you look at his performance in ODIs and T20s, he has been doing well. If you look at the T20 series performance against England, he did so well. I think he was the leader in run scorer as well. So the issue has been in Test format, and he hasn't played that regularly as well. If you look at from 2020, this shaky Virat Kohli started. He just played 2 Test matches in New Zealand. Then he went to Australia. He played 1 match, and he came back to India due to personal reasons. Then he played 4 Test matches against England at home. Then WTC final and 2 Test matches in here, and he has scored some runs. If you look at the Adelaide Test match, he played. He scored around 70 something. So he has scored runs. Only issue has been the consistency and making 100. So every player goes through these tough phases. If you look at Sachin's career, Sachin went through this phase like from 2005 to 2007. Even though Sachin had that elbow injury issues, but Sachin went through these tough phases, and we all know what happened from 2007 to 2011. So every player goes through these tough times, and great players will be coming back on a different way, different manner. Like some people cannot imagine. Like no one expected Sachin to come back like that from 2008 to 2011. He was the leading run scorer in 2011 World Cup for India. He scored 100 in South Africa. He had a great series everywhere. I really hope Virat Kohli has that phase. He's going through that similar phase in Test format and almost the same age as well. He's already 32, 33 something, if I'm right, and another 3, 4 years left, or 4 or 5 years. So there will be one more peak for Virat Kohli as a Test batsman.
Yeah, you're right. Usually, the age of the 31 to 34 is the peak for any batsman, kind of. I think at the similar age is another batsman is peaking, which is Joe Root. India have no answers against him at this point of time and is continuing to pile up the runs and the misery for India. So how good he is. So he's been piling up the runs, and even we were literally praying for his wicket in that final session because he was the one who was standing between a draw and a victory for India. And what should India do some differently to get him out? Because he doesn't seem like getting out.
It's similar kind of a run which any great player has. If you look at Virat Kohli, had that similar run from 2016 to 2018 when he was scoring runs for that for fun, like breakfast, dinners, everywhere. He was scoring runs for the team. So that pace Joe Root is going through. He scored runs in Sri Lanka. He scored runs in India. Now he's scoring in England as well. If you look at Joe Root's career in last 2 years, he has been a bit shaky at home conditions. Even though conditions has been difficult, but this in the first Test match he scored 100 after a long 2 year or 3 year gap. So that phase is going through for Joe Root as well as a batsman in this year. And England is lucky as well. If Joe Root was in scoring runs, they couldn't have won a single Test match this year. Even in Sri Lanka as well, he scored runs, and in India in the first Test match. If Joe Root was going through that similar run in 2000 or 2018 or 2019, I don't think they would have won a single match as well this year. So they should be thanking him. And I still think Siraj has the ability to have that shakiness, to find something of Joe Root. Because if you look at the Ashes 2019, Pat Cummins had that edge over Joe Root, and this Siraj has the ability to get similar pace, similar kind of that rhythm, or when he plays that. So Siraj has that ability to get. I still even he had that good times against Joe Root as well. If you look at the India series in India, Siraj bowled really well against Joe Root. So Siraj will be the X factor to look forward against Joe Root in the next 3 Test matches.
India is leading the series with 3 Test matches to go, and that is something which is not familiar for England in England. And other important factor is the England bowler seems to get injured in a hurry, and even if you see last match, probably Mark Wood has injured himself out of the Test match. So at this point of time, what do you think England is going to go? Is it going to come back strong to win the next match, or do you think it's going to be as usual for India to win the match and win the series in this tour?
I think England will be giving the strong statement, even though if you look at the second Test match, England had that edge. Before the fifth day, match was 50-50 or 45-55 to India. And India won that first section, and India won the match. So if England can get that important sections, and if you look at Brody is already ruled out, and I don't think James Anderson will be playing 5 Test matches. Yeah, even he played the second Test match almost like 50-50. He was before the game, so it will be tough if James Anderson misses a game in coming 3 Test matches. It will be really inexperienced England fast bowling unit as well. So England has their own issues. If David Malan and Hamid can provide that stability in the top 3, then England has that chances to win a Test match or come back really stronger. It all depends on how that top 3 going to fire in the next Test match. If they can score some hundreds or 50s, and that reduces the pressure of Joe Root, or Josh Butler can play his game Then Bairstow is there, who was promising in first two test matches. If you look at his performance, he has been going through tough phases in test format. And if you compare his performance in first two test matches, he has done so well, more than most of them expected as well. So England has some strength in that mid loader. So it all depends on how Hamid, Malan, and Rory Burns going to play in the next few test matches.